In today's video, I'm diving into the XRP chart to show you how early we still are in the cycle and why I believe XRP is headed upwards of $20. So make sure to like and subscribe and let's get into it. Now, first of all, I just want to say a big congratulations to every XRP holder. We're currently hitting a new all-time high today as we speak at $3.62. And man, has this been a journey. XRP has been one of the most hated on coins in all of crypto, and man, it feels good to be on the other side of it. I remember 6 months ago when XRP had been trading sideways and everyone was calling it a shitcoin, and look how the narrative has turned. But I'd been saying back from the start that XRP is one of the banking coins that's going to be used in the new financial system, and now we're seeing that adoption from the institutions, and it's finally started to be reflected in the price. But where we are right now at $3.63 is nowhere compared to where we're going to be in the future. It wouldn't surprise me if at one point as well we actually see XRP flip Ethereum in terms of market cap, as it has once in the past before. I told you guys from the start that XRP was the coin that all of the banks and big players were interested in. I was lucky enough to have an inside source, someone who's one of the most powerful individuals in this world, who gave me the inside information about what was really going on. And this is why I had such strong conviction, because he showed me what was going on. And while everyone else was talking about Solana or meme coins, we were heavily accumulating XRP, and now we're massively in profit. Even when the SEC lawsuit happened and people were selling out of fear, I was telling everyone to keep holding on, because it was clearly the most staged lawsuit in history. The whole reason for the lawsuit was to suppress the price so that these big institutions could accumulate at cheap prices, but also to keep us retail investors from getting rich in the process, because it benefited them to do that. The whole goal of the SEC lawsuit was to suppress the price, and also so that on the other end, XRP would come out as one of the only cryptos with regulatory clarity, giving it an advantage over the rest of the market. But anyway, let's get into the charts. So for those of you who have been following my channel for a while, you would actually know that we called the breakout of this range perfectly. And how we were able to call that is we saw that XRP was actually forming this ascending triangle pattern. And as we got to the apex of that triangle, it came to a decision point, whether it was going to break to the upside or to the downside. And this is actually the exact same pattern that we had been repeating back in 2017, where we had been forming an ascending triangle, and as we got to the apex of that triangle, we broke out. Now, what I believe is happening right now is I believe that we're actually repeating this exact same fractal as what we did in 2017. And I believe that where we are right now in the cycle is this exact point in time where we were in 2017. Because when we zoom in, what we can see is that we came up and we pumped up to the previous all-time high, which was around 6 cents, and we actually got a rejection from that level before putting in another high and a third and final high. Well, what have we seen currently so far? Where did our most recent pump take us? Well, it took us back up to the previous all-time highs, where we then got a rejection, and now I believe that we're about to get this move here up in the market, which could put us upwards of $12, potentially to some of these higher numbers as well. Now, to get an idea of where we could possibly go, we can actually pull a Fibonacci extension, and this gives us some future price targets. Now, full extension would actually sit XRP around $11 to $14. Now, this is going to be a key area where I would look to take some profits, but I would actually look for future price targets. And the reason for this is during the 2021 bull cycle, the price of XRP was actually suppressed and we never put in a new high for XRP. And this is why I believe that a lot of the gains that we actually missed out on last cycle, we're going to make up for this cycle. And that's why I believe we're going to see an overextension of our Fibonacci levels, potentially into that $20 mark, which is an area where I'm going to be looking to take massive profits and potentially even higher as well. Another reason why I believe we have so much upside for XRP is when we look at the total free market cap, which is the total market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, we still have a lot more room to the upside. We've actually just been making this ascending triangle pattern here, and we're currently coming to the breakout point where the market is going to decide whether it's going to break up or whether it's going to break down. Now, the technical target for this, you actually measure from the low to the high, and this actually gives you a technical breakout target. So if we were to break out, the altcoin market cap would be sitting at around $5 trillion, which is absolutely insane. And this is what I believe is coming for the altcoins in the next few months, that we are going to see that absolute explosion to the upside. Now, this technical pattern is actually the exact same pattern that I used to call the breakout of XRP when it went from 40 cents all the way to $3. As well, when we look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, we can see that it is clearly breaking down. And we were able to call this because we were actually printing some very bearish signs on the chart. We were printing a bearish divergence where the price action was going up, but our RSI was actually going lower, and this indicates a loss of momentum in the market and a change of trend. And when we zoom in at the current price action, we can see that we have pretty much been trading within this sideways channel for the Bitcoin dominance, and we are currently right now losing that channel. Now, we could see something similar like we did early in the year, where we do get a fake out and we do actually come back into that channel. But based on the timeline of a 4-year cycle, I do believe that that is going to be very unlikely. I do believe, based on the timing of the cycle, that we are in for a true breakout. And what levels would I be targeting for the dominance? Well, I would be expecting the Bitcoin dominance to fall all the way back down to this 40% level, which was the previous lows back here in 2022. And when this happens, when the dominance breaks down, this is when your altcoins are going to massively outperform and explode against Bitcoin. And this is where your altcoins do 10, 20, 30x returns in just a very small amount of time. And that's exactly what happened when we had this massive breakdown in dominance in 2021. That caused our massive altcoin season. And I believe that we're on the verge of seeing something very similar happen again as we get that massive fall off in dominance. And this is why I believe XRP is headed upwards of $20 as well. And something very interesting that I actually saw online is Bitcoin being at 118,000 right now. When you actually account for inflation from 2021, it would only be equivalent to a 70k Bitcoin when you actually account for inflation. So this is another reason why I believe that a lot of people's price targets for this cycle are actually way too low, because that's a factor that people aren't taking into account. But that's pretty much all I've got for today's video. If you'd like some one-on-one coaching with me to learn how to trade or invest, send me an email or message me on social media. And if you'd like to purchase my top 10 picks, these are my small cap altcoins, which I believe could do a 50 to 100x this cycle. You can purchase that just by clicking on the link below. But besides that, I'll see you guys next time.
Bitcoin, please go to moon. Stop going sideways now. Don't ever say we going down to 1K, but Mr. Novogratz say we have bottomed out. Bottomed out, Novogratz is bullish. Bottomed out, don't ever rise is deadish.
Bearish target, 13 times there.
Novogratz is bullish.
Bitcoin could be at 40,000.
Let us go to moon.